Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a bit of a filter sweep phaser effect across your drum bus. This is really cool and useful if you want to add a bit of a special effect over your drums for a short amount of time. So this is the effect I'm going to show you how to create. So it just creates a bit of anticipation. It's building up, ramping up to something, in this case, the end of the song. Now I hear this effect in a lot of like sort of pop punk and pop rock kind of songs, and it's always a bit of fun. And I've done this before in varying ways, and I don't want to put a plug-in on the drum bus and then blend in the mix because you generally lose a bit of volume from the dry signal when you go to the wet signal, and the drums are going to lose punch. I want the drums to remain the same, nice and big and punchy, and then I want to add this effect into them. So I thought, why not just create our own sweeping bus that we can just add into our drum bus and blend in. So let me break this down for you. This is the effect on its own. It sounds pretty nasty actually. So it's pretty wild. Now let me just break this down for you and show you what's going on here. That sweeping effect is being sent into our drum bus just like anything else, like our kick, snare, our toms. It's just like an extra layer that's being sent in. So what I've done is anything that was being sent to bus 1, I just found all these tracks because bus 1's our drum bus, highlighted them, and I made a new send. So send bus 23. So then I came over to this side where all the sends appear, and I right clicked on it and pressed create track so that we now have that send in our global window. And then I made sure that it was dragged into our drum group and that the output was bus 1 back into our drums. So then that's just sounded like all of our drums being sent to it. So we've just got our drums coming in. Okay, so the first plugin I have on here is Filter Freak. Now I'll just quickly show you on a new instance of Filter Freak what I changed, because the default settings are pretty much all I use, but just tweaked a couple of things. We just changed the shape to BPF. Now we've got our nice little resonant kind of peak here, and then I pushed the resonance up just to make this sharper. I want that sweep effect to be more pointy and have less spread. The only thing that we do next then is automate our frequency, so we get this to sweep through the frequencies that we want. So I actually did this in touch mode. So I just turned this to touch, and then I played the track and I moved the frequency knob here to sweep it the way that I want it to. So you can see it's kind of written in. Pretty cool. So we've already got a nice little sweep there. Now you could probably just do this with an EQ, and you would probably just do like a high pass and a low pass, and then you would have to automate them together. So it's kind of a bit annoying because you can't do them at the exact same time. So that's why I reached for Filter Freak and did it this way. Okay, so next up we have Devil Lock, adding a little bit of distortion and crunch to the sound, just because we want to make it sound a little bit more interesting. And just having that like little bit of saturation actually made the effect come through a lot better. So I've got the crunch turned up to about 6.5. And then just the darkness rolled to 2, just takes a little bit of the harshness out. And then at the very end, I've just pulled the mix out really quickly, just because it was leaving this annoying sustain of the effect in the drums that I didn't like hearing when the song finished. Okay, sounds kind of choppy there, but like in the mix, you can't hear that at all. But that's how the distortion sounds. Makes it way more interesting. Let's hear it bypassed. Yeah, it sounds kind of lame like that. So the distortion's making it sound fat. Make sure you hit that like button, guys, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you know when these videos get posted. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump over to my website, www.spinlightstudio.com, where you can check out my new drum samples that I just released. So a bunch of stuff on here, one-shot samples, taster pack that has a bit of everything in it, my cymbal essentials, shaker and tambo loops, and my trigger 2-pack, which has been super popular at the moment. It's got a bunch of kick, snares, and toms that you can layer into your live drums and just make them sound awesome straight away. Now after that, good old faithful micro shift. So micro shift, I've just got it on full focus, so the whole range here. The mix is at 65%, style 2, bit of detune, and a lot of loose, 100% going over here to the right, just to get it kind of wide and a bit messy sounding. So it just sounds like chaos now. Now we add Valhalla Vintage Verb after it with a short ambient. So I just grabbed the preset here and I use the trip hop snare. Let's have a listen to what this sounds like at 50%. Didn't play with any of the parameters, just put it on and dialed in the mix. that just smooths it all out. So it just gets rid of like the kind of jaggedness of it, puts it in a bit of a space and widens the sound out and smooths off all that harshness that's going on. So let's add our volume automation back in here and get this turned back down to where it was. All right, so here's our chain: Filter Freak, Devil Lock, Micro Shift, and then Vintage Verb. Pretty cool. Now, fun fact is, the band hasn't heard this. They might hate it. They might want me to get rid of this, but you never know. You just got to try things out. If you can add value to a production, that's always a great thing. So never be scared to attempt effects and add things into a mix, and hopefully the band might love it. And if they don't, just don't take it to heart. Just, you learned something new, you tried something different, and maybe on the next production, these tricks that you're trying, they might work and the band might love them. So if you've been wondering how to add a bit of a phaser sweep to your drums, this might be one way to do it. You can actually just go make it and automate it yourself and get the sweep to do exactly what you want. And then you can just muck around with the effects and create something very interesting. And if you guys are keen to watch a full mix done by me and it's got a couple of my samples in it, check out this next video where I take you from start to finish mixing an indie rock song.